I know I'm good at what I do, but I was concerned that by asking for help, people would question my ability to do my business.
Urgency will make them move. Nothing else will make them move.
No.
And if they know it's a fall cohort, and if they're like, hey, we can't do fall, let's do spring, fine. Now you have your wait list for the spring cohort.
The only thing they have left is influence. But you're not taught influential leadership and transformational leadership until they're looking at you for the C-suite.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Get Ready Cash podcast, back with another amazing coaching episode. And today we have Clive, who has been in the Speak Get Ready Cash mastermind community. I think it's your third year, right?
It is.
Yeah, with your wife, Dr. Maya. And so introduce yourself to the community, the Speak Get Ready Cash community. Yeah, let me know what you do in the business that we're going to be talking about today, which is a little bit different.
So, well, thanks for having me, first of all.
Of course.
And welcome, and I appreciate being here. My name is Clive McCarthy. I consider myself the plus one of the team as opposed to a minus one. And what I do is I am a Leadership Accelerator coach. So after all my years in corporate America, I was always tasked with turnaround operations. So go in when an operation was not profitable, when employees weren't engaged, and I would have to turn them around or shut them down. Mm-hmm. And so I realized, and it helped me discover my skill set, that I was actually able to tap into people and help them be comfortable with themselves, which turned into profitability. Mm. And that's what gave birth to the Community Financial Empowerment Group and subsequently the Leadership Accelerator Workshop.
I love that. And give us a little bit about your background.
So I've been in the financial services industry for a decade and a half, licensed in multiple lines, worked for the major carriers, and I've found my passion serving on national boards within the industry. So actually helping industries create rules and guidelines for especially communities of color to do business. And so that's where I found my purpose, found my passion, and really started to understand how money works and money moves. And started sharing that because I've been blessed with some amazing mentors who pulled the curtain back and showed me things I probably wasn't supposed to know or learn. And just like my days in the military, I'm like, once you promote me into that role, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've continued doing all this time, still serving on boards. I find it such an honor to do that because I learn so much. I get to see a different perspective. And I've turned that into a place of service now with the company.
Now, how do you get on a corporate board? I know we're going to do a coaching episode, but I know there's someone who is watching this who's just like, first of all, how do you get on a corporate board? And are you saying nonprofit boards or for-profit boards?
Both.
Nice. So how do you get on a board that pays you?
What I've seen is it starts with the nonprofit work. Because, especially like the industry associations, you start with them, but those who have a stake in it are paid individuals. They're major corporations. Like in my case, it's all the major carriers you can think of in the insurance space. Mm-hmm. So they have a vested interest on how the rules are done and how they can access different markets. So then you have the opportunity to start engaging with their CEOs, their first line direct reports, who are presidents of companies and different business units.
So the nonprofit boards you serve on can be a gateway if it's the right nonprofit board.
Correct.
So you need to be strategic about which nonprofit boards you're on and make sure whoever you're serving with also may have the power or influence to help appoint you to a paid board.
Yes, because I realized that for the last company that I was with before I left corporate America, the CEO and his successor were named 20 years ago. They already knew. Why? Because they both went to Boston University together.
Yeah.
And neither one of them were current CEOs yet. But his roommate was being groomed, and he was being groomed to succeed and so now he is the current CEO, but there was someone else in place. And so I started seeing that navigation and how it's moved, because a lot of people think it's a corporate ladder, but it really isn't. It's a lattice.
Explain the difference.
So we think we have to go from one promotion to another promotion to another promotion to another promotion. That's not how it works. for a subject matter expert, that's how it works. But when you're looking to enter the C-suite or executive levels, you have to have a lot of working knowledge on a lot of different things. So you're moving sideways a lot to gain understanding and exposure and perspective on a lot of different things so that you can lead.
I love that. I love that because you need to be competent in a variety of areas.
Yes.
And you need to be excellent in a few. Okay, I love that. All right, so this is great. We're going to have you back talking more about corporate boards and networking strategically, because I know there's someone watching this right now who's like, I'm on the nonprofit board for my grandma's organization, and they're like, I'm not getting paid, I'm not getting appointed. Like, we do have to be more strategic about where we do our philanthropy even. I mean, that could be a huge asset to your professional career.
Absolutely. Even to the point, my most recent opportunity was actually a very big surprise. The mayor of the town that I live in, he had appointed me to the Workforce Development Board to serve, because of a lot of the work that I do for my other boards is focused on reskilling, upskilling, and helping those tap their skills to make them more productive and make them more successful. And so he wanted my insight in the communities board. So now this is a governmental agency of a sort. And so he appointed me to it. I'm like, sure. We don't agree on many things, but on this thing and the work that he asked me to do, I'm like, I can do that. After Black Women Sell Live, I had a meeting with the board, and there was a vote placed, and I was elected chairman of the board.
Whoa! Congratulations!
Thank you. So that oversees 10 counties, and I've got an amazing staff, an amazing team, but that's built on the work that I was doing previously and staying consistent. So no matter what board it is, the work that I do is consistent.
For that board, how you
Correct.
show up so that you can develop a reputation.
Yes.
I really like that because, as you know, we moved to Georgia a couple of years ago. We've been really blessed to connect with some folks who are in the political arena here. And I'm just thinking through what that looks like for us, because oftentimes we're so head down in our businesses that we forget. And I was telling Chris, I'm like, we need a philanthropic initiative. We need to go back to how this is all the things we had in corporate. We had our philanthropy initiatives planned out. We had our nonprofit board seats planned out. And we had our political aspirations planned out. And so now we're going back to that. Now that we have some level of stability to this business, it feels like I can breathe a little bit more. I'm not underwater as much. So this is great. Okay, so y'all got a coaching episode in a coaching episode. So Clive has just coached us on how we're about to level up in these board seats and how we're gonna get involved in our communities and how we should be thinking of that as a holistic plan to really developing our expertise while helping so many people in our community. So I love that. I love that. Okay, so what is your coaching question for the hot seat?
So it's been one of my biggest personal fears, because putting myself out there, I have a lot of relationships. My LinkedIn is over 3,400, and over a third of those are senior executives or CEOs of international corporations because of the board services I've done.
Yeah.
When I post, I can go 1,500 views in a couple hours because I don't post things that aren't in line with what I do. And I'm kind of a LinkedIn person.
Okay.
So what my biggest opportunity is expanding from just the corporate space into the individual space. So
B2B to B2C.
Correct.
And what do you want to do B2C?
So B2C is an expansion of the coaching that I've done with young professionals or mid-career professionals, because what the Leadership Accelerator workshop does, it helps them navigate that abyss. Because one of the things I've seen, again from my perspective, serving on boards and working with ERGs, and a lot of leaders in companies volunteer. They raise their hand. I don't really like the word volunteer because you're investing time.
Yeah.
And so you should expect a return.
Right.
And so they raised their hand and they said, I'll help lead this organization. The company has a reason why they want it. And they're hoping, the individuals are hoping that they'll get access to skills so that they can climb to their goals. However, when they're leading these volunteer groups, they can't hire anybody, they can't fire anybody, They don't have retirements, none of the normal levers a manager would use to motivate and incentivize individuals to achieve a goal. And so the only thing they have left is influence. But you're not taught influential leadership and transformational leadership until they're looking at you for the C-suite. That work starts 10, 15 years prior. So it's kind of a catch-22.
So you want to go directly to individuals and sell them influential leadership.
Yes.
That's good. Except they don't know they're influential leaders.
Correct.
So that's the hard part. Is like they need it in the future, but people buy with tomorrow in mind.
Correct.
And so that's going to be the thing. I think there's definitely an audience for it, but it's probably the audience that already knows their leaders. And it'll probably be entrepreneurs who are interested in becoming better leaders because now they're hiring and can't keep anybody.
Yes. And what I've seen there, we've narrowed our scope to it's either professionals looking to accelerate, so they've been hit a couple times and they've been told no.
So maybe managers looking to go director
Yes.
and above, yeah.
Yes. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, who realize to be one is one thing, but then to have a team and lead
Yep.
a team can cost them a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And the ERGs, which is the employee resource groups or the business resource groups within corporations, they're leaders. Those are the ones that
So then that would stay B2B. So you would help with, you would basically sell companies on your Leadership Accelerator workshop, which is what you're already doing.
that's the part, and that's where the companies pay me.
Yeah, the companies will pay.
However, there's the aspect, the part I really want to focus on is where the individuals take me to their corporation, take me to their manager, say, look, here's a program I want to participate in. I have tuition reimbursement, I have professional development monies, whatever, and this is what I want to participate in. And so therefore, the relationship is with myself, because that will shorten the sales cycle. Because the corporate
Maybe.
sales cycle,
Yeah,
true.
the corporate sales cycle can be long. But I do think that if you have leadership training for managers, it doesn't have to be long if there's a reason for it to be short. So let's say you do 4 cohorts throughout the year, they have to buy by a certain point to get their leaders in the next cohort. So that would kind of bake in some level of urgency to the corporation. So imagine you going to Coca-Cola and saying like, hey, I know that you all have a ton of middle-level managers. Eventually, that is your workforce to become directors. We have our fall cohort starting August 15th. We'd love to get them in. They have to be registered by, July 1st. So then if you reach out to them in May for the July 1st date, that could be great. And then you can even have like an early bird special where like if you register by May 1st, you save $500 per participant. So it's like baked in urgency for them to get people in that cohort. And at the same time, you will sell it into companies, but you also will sell it direct to individuals. Like, hey, if you're a manager level or above and you want to be in this cohort, submit your information on this form and I'll send you a letter to send your company. And copy me when you send the letter. That way you can follow up with the company as well. So you still want to get that, it would still be lead gen on LinkedIn. So it's like, hey, they put in their name, their email, what they make per year, they put this in, and then they ask for it for their company. And then you can send them emails like, hey, pay for it and get reimbursed for your company, by your company. I'll write a reimbursement letter to plead for you to get reimbursed. But this may be something you just want to invest in and then celebrate completing it with your company so that they know that you're ready for leadership, you're ready for the next level.
I like that. I hadn't thought of the urgency aspect of it.
Urgency will make them move. Nothing else will make them move.
No.
And if they know it's a fall cohort, and if they're like, hey, we can't do fall, let's do spring, fine. Now you have your wait list for the spring cohort. And then also, so with urgency, what all of us should be doing is leveling up urgency. So one is the date. The price is gonna go up if you don't do it by May 1st, then you're gonna have to pay more money. If you do it by July 1st, they're gonna miss the deadline altogether. But another sense of urgency is we only have a certain amount of spots. So I only take 20 leaders through this because it's very intense. And you can charge 10K per leader. You could do 10K per leader. Now, if you want, and here's the thing, it could be 10K per leader if the company is paying for it. You can have individuals apply for a scholarship and get 50% off. And it's 5K per leader. So then it's a 3-month program, it's 5K, they can do a payment plan, they can apply for a scholarship, and then maybe the individuals are paying 5K. But if their company pays 10K per leader. So if you do 10K per leader at 25,000, I mean, you have 10K and then you have 25 people that are going through it, 250K per
quarter.
accelerator. Yep. So you have 250K, you have 4 a year, that's $1 million just for that one program. And eventually, if you certify other law professionals, now you can have multiple cohorts running, and that could be how you scale it.
And I like that because I've got a team of 3 facilitators, they're curriculum designers, HR directors for major companies that have all locked arms with me with the company and the vision to provide services.
Oh, that's great.
So they all aspire to transition out of their corporate roles, but they've lent me their years of experience and success and insight, and they keep me within the guardrails.
Which could be great because let's say you take 25 with you and that gets the 250K, but if you have 3 other people who are already trained, you could actually do up to 750K per quarter, and just each of them has their own cohort. So if they register first, the first 25 are assigned to you. So they actually work with like a law professional, or maybe you call yourself like a master lawman or something like that kind of plays off of the name, but you're mastery level, and then they can get senior level and they can get junior level instructors depending on where they come in. But that could be another fast action bonus. Like if you're one of the first 25, I will actually be your facilitator.
That I can implement.
Yeah.
That I can definitely implement.
I mean, that could be great for you to do that. Like 25 people cohorts, if you cap it, it could be 50, it could be 100. You could cap it however you'd like to, however, whatever makes the most sense. But I think having a cap on it will be good, and then having a graduation every quarter, even if it's virtual.
No, I like that.
Something the company can come to virtually, and they can see the work of their people with you.
Most of my clients are in the financial services industry, and so there are regular conferences, and so possibly even recognizing them at a conference.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And with your relationships, you probably could have a conference, just carve out 20 minutes, you give out the certificates, and it becomes just another way to celebrate.
That I can do.
Yeah.
And it would help the different associations as well. Again, up their game, up their brand, increase their sponsorships.
That would be good.
No, I like that.
I like it too. And it gives you an ability to sell it on both sides. So you sell it direct to the company, you can also sell it direct to them, you're building your list that way. And no one really has to feel left out. And the scholarships can be sponsored as well. So you can have a sponsor for the fall cohort, and maybe it's a company that just donates, or they pay the other half of their sponsorship fee, and you let people know, hey, I'm gonna be working with all these leaders. If you all have open roles, I'd be happy to share those open roles.
You just solved a problem that I had, because I had a company come to me and say, look, we wanna get involved. We don't wanna just pay for dinners and pay for an event. We wanna find a way to actually provide value across multiple chapters. You just helped me with that, because now I couldn't actually formulate that, but now they can actually sponsor the scholarships.
They can sponsor the scholarships, and then you have one named sponsor for that quarter, and it's them. I think it's great. You can really create some bespoke opportunities. They can sponsor the certificates. So it could be your company's logo and their company's logo, and you can have different sponsorship levels. But if they're coming to you like, I want to get involved, I want to give, hello, my name is company, I'd like to give you money. How could I do that? Like, these are great problems. So yeah, so that would definitely solve that.
No, I like that a lot. Wow, I didn't even expect that. So thank you.
Of course. So what are you going to do differently as a result?
So differently, I'm going to build in the sense of urgency, first of all. To
the multiple layers.
Yes. So that this way, by quarter, we drive urgency for them to act. So that deals with that issue. Going to also make the offering to the individuals as well as the companies, so that this way they can take it to their employers, and they can get reimbursed, and also do the scholarships and implement the scholarships, and circle back with that one influential team that wanted to get involved and do that way. So those are the 3 things I know I can do and get done. So that can definitely make a big change.
And ask people for help.
Yes.
Ask people for help.
That's something I've had to learn, to ask for more help and ask and be vulnerable with that, because I was always concerned that I know I'm good at what I do, but I was concerned that by asking for help, people would question my ability to do my business.
Because why would you need help if you're
Exactly. If you're so good,
why do you need help?
why do you need help? But growing the business beyond anywhere I've ever been before, I'd be crazy if I didn't. And it took me a while to realize that. So.
And they want to help you, because the thing is, for us, Clive, like you and I are very similar. Our security blanket, our comfort zone is helping others.
Yes.
So whereas most people, not most, but there are some people that are takers. So their comfort zone is just leeching. They just like, give me. But our comfort zone is being the solution, never being the problem. And I think that like, because of that, when we need help or when we want a referral, we don't always ask for it because we would prefer to give a referral.
Yes.
Like I have referred so much business to people. I don't think I've ever worked with a vendor longer than a year where I have not referred them money. Some vendors, hundreds of thousands of dollars, we have referred them in business. And that's my comfort zone. Because I've always looked for ways to like help others first, help others fast. But the downside is when I need help, I won't always ask for it. And it really took me analyzing that and being like, oh, this is a comfort zone for you. Helping others is your comfort zone. So for me, getting outside of my comfort zone is allowing others to be a part of the vision. Don't even think of it as like getting help or needing people or like any of those things, because those things that's just not, it's not gonna let you move fast enough. You got to think of it as let other people be a part of the vision.
I agree. And that is my work in progress, and that's something that I constantly have to work on and continue to grow in. So
yeah,
I'm excited about that.
Me too. So if people want to get involved in law, if they want to bring you into their organization to do leadership training, let them know how they can find you.
So in order to connect with me, the primary place is on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn by my name, Clive McCarthy, and that's Clive like Davis, McCarthy. And it's the one that'll pop up with all the initials after it and all the letters, the alphabet soup I call it. And then also you can find me on my website at www.cliveempowers.com.
Love that. All right, guys, it's been another great coaching episode of the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. I know y'all got gems on both sides from this one. So let us know in the comments what you think. If you too are gonna be overcoming asking for help, let us know, because I am right there with you. We're both right there with you. And we want you to come to our next event. We have free events and also paid events all the time. I'll drop in the comments where you can find us next. I want to see you there. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. I need energy, need only good people that's around me. All the faith you can give, that's the recipe.